if you have a PML and you're paying your PML 12%, right? You're paying your PML 12% interest rate. That means your cash on cash return has to be in excess of 12%. So you can pay a PML of 12%. So for example, when you go on the calculator and you say, okay, here's the amount I need funding for at 12%, you need to make sure that your monthly cash flow is positive after you pay your PML, the $597 a month, right? So the easy rule of thumb is as long as your cash on cash return is over 12%, I'd like to see over 15% to pay a PML 12% so you have some spread if and when something goes wrong. Like you need to have a high cash on cash return. And if it's a private money partner, well, I showed you how, right? In this instance, year one, you're splitting it 50-50 with them, 50% ownership and cash flow. You're splitting the two deals, right? And they're going to get almost a 9% cash on cash return and a 20.6% return on investment for just funding the deal. You're going to find the deal. You're going to do all this analysis and structure it. You're going to raise the capital for it from them. They fund it. And then you're going to handle all the operations after. And they're getting phenomenal returns, almost 9% cash on cash return. And that's year one. It only gets better with time. And you'll see here by the time 5 years is up, it's 50%. So the average out, that's around 10% a year, right? So it's a little bit better than this 8.9% was at the beginning because your rents go up while a lot of your debt and all that stays down. And then you're offering them almost 21% return on investment because they also get, as a private money partner, they also get the appreciation benefits, the debt pay down benefits, the tax benefits. So you need to have great deals first and foremost. And that's why I say your deals need to have solid enough cash on cash return. So when you split it or you pay a PML, right? If you pay a PML, it needs to exceed what their interest rate is. Or if you split it with a private money partner, it's still good enough for both of you guys for the returns that you're looking for. Understanding for you as the buyer, your returns are infinite if you can fund these deals using none of your own money. We'll leave it at that for that question. Let's see. Do you buy sub 2 property that cash flow co-living but not long-term? Yes, Cheryl. I will buy properties, and I do buy properties that sub 2 if they cash flow co-living but not long-term rentals, as long as they're in great markets and they're great properties that I know if I'm buying them at great terms, even if it doesn't make sense and I can no longer do pad split or whatever, and it doesn't work as a long-term rental, I know because I bought it at great terms. Let's a 3%, 3% interest rate at 10% down payment. I know that if I had to sell that to someone else creatively, I can sell to them at the same terms and get out of that deal. Even if it's 10% down, they pay and 3% interest rate, they take that over. Great, I'm out of this deal. Or more often than not, what you'll do is you'll wrap that to someone else. You'll make them put 10% on a larger purchase price or 15% on the similar purchase price, and they're gonna buy it from you at 4%, 5%, 6% interest rate. Those are very easy to sell. Where people go wrong trying to sell these wraps is they're buying deals that only make sense with like a 20% down payment at a much higher purchase price, and the interest rate only makes sense at 12%. Well, yeah, that's a stupid, like that you're putting yourself in such a box, which if you have to sell a property, you're really screwed. No one's going to want to buy that property from you. However, if you're doing it and you're buying great deals, even if it no longer works as a long-term rental or co-living or whatever, you can still sell it to someone who wants to live in it and offer them great terms that they're not going to be able to get from anyone else anyway, because the bank is charging them 7%, 8% and 25% down, right? So that's why I'm open to it and that's why I do it, because I know there's various ways to get out of it. Number one being providing this as a home for someone who wants to live in it at great terms. Are my PMLs and PMPs bringing 100% to these deals to make it a cash deal, or are you financing any of those? Are your PML bringing? No, so I've never funded 100% of a purchase outside of a renovation, like a flip or a BRRRR property where we're renovating it and then going to pull the cash out with a refinance. I've never asked the PML or PMP to fund 100% of the deal, because that's usually not the best way to do it, because then you're getting rid of one of the best benefits of real estate investing, which is leverage of that debt. And if you're using the PML or PMP as the leverage, well, you're paying them a ton of money. I'd rather pay the bank 7% or 8% than pay a PML 12%, right? So it just doesn't make sense, like mathematically, to bring them in to fund the whole deal, unless it's short term, you're adding value to the property and then you're refinancing them out. So that makes sense in that regards. All right, the last question. So maximizing, why does Michael prefer wholesale deals instead of direct acquisition? So why do I prefer wholesale deals over direct acquisition? It's very straightforward. It's a lot of time, money, and energy that goes into direct acquisitions. I have to pull a list of potentially motivated sellers. I have to skip trace them, which all that stuff costs me money. I have to put them into my CRM. I have to cold call them. I have to touch base with them like 10 different times before there's even some motivation. I have to extract the information. I have to, once they are motivated, I have to do due diligence on the property. I have to put it under contract. I have to do all of this work before it's under contract. And there's no guarantee that I spend all the time and money and energy on doing all of that it's even going to become a deal. So for me, it's much better to leverage something like, let me show you. This is super investors only, so I apologize. If you're not a super investor, there's other ways to find deals. Go on Facebook, go on, join Sub2, get on email lists and all that. But let me show you. Just need 1 second. I'm going to show you. This is way easier. This is why I exclusively buy deals this way. Okay. All right. So for me, it makes way more sense to collaborate and work with wholesalers and buy deals this way than doing all of that crap I just mentioned to you. That is so much work. If my end goal is to buy and hold real estate, I want to be as efficient as possible to buy and hold real estate, which means I need deals and I need money. It doesn't mean I need to do all the work to find the deals, or it doesn't mean I need to do all the work to find all the money, right? That's what I really focus on, is raising capital from partners who are a great fit for what we're trying to do long-term. But then I don't want to spend all that time, money, and energy finding deals from directly from agents and sellers, because that's not efficient. I don't like to work 20 plus hours a week. I'm not Hermosi. I'm not all these people who want to live in a basement and just work and work and work and grind and nonstop. All I care about is efficiency. I care about results. I care about buying great deals and using none of my own money to do so. So I'm building my cash flow and my wealth through other people's money on great investments, because I'm providing them an investment opportunity. I care about that. Doesn't mean I need to do every step of the process, which is exactly what I teach in the super investors community, which currently is closed off. If you're interested in something like that, DM me, reach out to me. I will be reopening it in the future, but that's not the priority right now. Priority right now is for my current 80-ish members who I'm helping on their path to financial freedom. So for me, instead of trying to do all that work that I mentioned, I'd rather leverage tools like this to find deals that are already locked up and under contract. Texas deal, cool. Let me see more information on this deal, right? This is way easier for me to sit there and analyze anytime from any place. All right, here's a 4-bed, 4-bath, 1,600 square foot property. It's not furnished. There's no HOA. It's a hybrid deal. Purchase price is $367,500. Entry is $20,000 plus there's closing costs and TC. Here's the monthly payment. Here's the information on the mortgage, the interest rate, the PITI. There's no balloon. I would rather have all of this information, someone do all of this work for me and pay them the $10,000 that they wholeheartedly deserve, or $10,000, $5,000, $20,000, whatever it is, as long as the deal makes sense. I would much rather do that and pay them the well-deserved money for these types of investments than sit there and do all of that work to wholesale. As someone who's wholesaled over 100 deals, trust me, if you're going to wholesale anything, cash wholesaling is kind of the best for assignment fees. Creative can be great because you can solve problems that cash can never solve. But for me as a buyer, buying creatively financed deals from wholesalers is bar none like the best way for me to efficiently buy great investments without paying any money. So all this marketing and all that, I pay nothing when I buy a deal like this until closing. The day that we close is when I pay. Otherwise, I'm paying an earnest money deposit to get into the deal or to put it under contract with the wholesaler, but I'm really not paying anything until we close on the deal. But I'm raising the money, so my partner is paying the money on that deal. Where if I am doing the deals myself, if I'm finding all these acquisitions and all that, that is not very efficient and it's costly with no guarantee that I'll find a good deal. So just leveraging deals like this all day is what I'd rather do. All day. Looking at, okay, I want to find interest rates 0 to, let's say, anything under 5%, right? And for me, let's say I'm cool with California. I'm cool with Florida, Georgia. Let's just stick with those, right? Cool. Here's opportunities of 5% or lower deals, 5% or lower interest rate deals in these markets. I would rather just sit there and do this. It's more efficient. I can do this from literally anywhere in the world. I'm not dependent on the seller or the agent getting back to me. Like yesterday, I called an agent as part of sub 2 and Pace Morby's No One Left Behind challenge. He didn't answer. He texted me today during an inconvenient time, and I got to get back to him. And by the time I get back to him, someone else will, and they'll get the deal. Like, why would I do that when I already have a property under contract and I can make these decisions from anywhere in the world very easily by just analyzing these deals? So hopefully that answers your question. Number one is efficiency. I'm not a wholesaler. I'm a buy and hold real estate investor who became financially free buying and holding real estate, leveraging other people's money. So I use none of my own money. I'm not straying away from that. I'm not working harder than I need to for no reason. That's really what it is. I enjoy my time. I enjoy work-life balance. I love my family. I want to spend as much time with them. Right now, I'm going to go on a walk with them. I don't have to worry about a seller or an agent. I analyze deals when it makes sense for me. And then we buy those deals. If they're great investments, or if they're not, but there's potential, I will renegotiate those deals through the wholesaler. That's 100% the reason why.